Welcome, everyone, to the 2018 Johnson County Community College Athletic Awards. This is a great opportunity for us to recognize you, and we're excited to do so tonight. I do want to say this. We are under a weather watch, so we'll try to keep things moving in a timely fashion here. If it gets to where we need to take cover, we will let you know. We will have that covered for you, and we'll let you know what we need to do. To get started tonight, I do want to thank a few people, and just if you'll give me just a few minutes here. First, I want to thank and give a warm welcome to the members of the JCCC administrative team. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We have great leadership here, and we appreciate that. Also, we have a couple of board members, several board members, as a matter of fact, and we say thank you to them for your attendance tonight. Yeah, go ahead. That's right. Give them he told me not to. He told me to be quick about this, but I do want to take just 1 minute to say a big thank you to my boss, Dr. Randy Weber, and his leadership. Randy, I really appreciate so much working for you and with you, and appreciate all that you give to Johnson County Community College. Thank you so much. Next, I want to say a quick thank you. You'll hear from them later tonight. Our head coaches. You know, coaches are teachers, and coaches teach, they motivate, and they inspire. And I've been motivated and inspired working with them. So I want to say thank you to our coaches, each one you'll hear from tonight, the head coaches, but also our assistant coaches and the work that they do and the time that they put in. And also our counselors. We have some tonight that are here, and we say thank you for their efforts too to work with our team. So thank you very much. I was told to keep this short, but I do want to recognize our staff. We have our athletic staff. Jim Dice, I don't think he's here tonight, but Jim has been a great help to me, and I appreciate so much his willingness to help indoctrinate me into the processes and the policies and the procedures that we follow, and I appreciate all of his hard work. Betsy Petrie, everyone, all the athletes are aware of Betsy. We appreciate Betsy, all that you do. I don't want to embarrass you, but I do want to embarrass you, because Betsy also, in line with Jim, does a great job of keeping the department running. And that's a big job that she has. She does it so well, and I just appreciate what she does and want to recognize her every opportunity that I have. So Betsy, thank you. Yeah. Sitting beside Betsy is Patty McGraw. Patty is, I would say, very organized and a very hard worker, and we appreciate, Patty, all that you do, keeping our facilities clean and running, everything that you do, Patty. Just appreciate your efforts so much too. So thank you, very, very good. Well done. Tonight's event has really been put together by Heidi McCormick. She did the Athletic Student Awards academic night during a basketball game this year, which was a lot of work. And Heidi, I appreciate everything that you've done. Here she is. Give her a hand, please. Thank you so much. The last big recognition before we bring our MC out tonight, I just want to say a big thank you to my wife, Suzanne, who moving was not easy for us in July and August and September, selling a home and packing everything up and moving. And I just want to say how much I appreciate and everything, dear, that you did to help get our family here. And we love it. We love being here. And I appreciate your help so much. So thank you so much. Okay, taking way too much time on that, but I do appreciate everybody's service to our college. I want to introduce now an award-winning sports information director. You all are familiar with him. A good friend. Tyler and I have been longtime friends, really grew up together, and just appreciate his professionalism and the job that he does. He'll be our MC tonight, Mr. Tyler Cundiff. Tyler?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me tonight, and welcome to all that are gathered here to celebrate the achievements of our student athletes in the classroom and on the playing field. Our academic award is issued to a sophomore athlete from each team who has the highest cumulative GPA through the fall 2017 term. Our Cavalier Award goes to the most energetic, positive, good sportsman from each athletic team. And finally, the Most Valuable Player Award is given to an athlete from each team who has played the biggest role in contributing to their team's success. But before we get to the awards, I would like to welcome our guest speaker tonight, Mr. Paul Kaufman. Raised in a small town of Chase, Kansas, Paul attended Kansas State University and joined the Wildcats football team as a walk-on. He earned 3 varsity letters, and he led the team in scoring as a tight end in 1977. He also earned all Big 8 academic honors in 1977. Paul went on to play 11 seasons in the NFL at tight end, mostly for the Green Bay Packers. He also played 2 seasons with the Kansas City Chiefs before finishing his career with the Minnesota Vikings in 1988. Paul has earned Hall of Fame recognition from numerous organizations, including the Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame. He still holds the Packers franchise records for tight ends with 322 catches for 4,233 yards and 39 touchdowns in 8 seasons. He also earned Pro Bowl honors 3 times. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Paul Kaufman.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess today, when you hear about a professional athlete, a lot of times it brings up negative thoughts, and you view a guy that's played in the NFL as somebody that's bigger, stronger, faster than everyone else, that was the best on his high school team, had all kind of scholarship offers, and excelled at a team that played in a bowl game and was a high round draft choice. Well, my story is a little different, and I want to start out tonight telling you where I came from and how I got to the NFL, and then after the NFL. And, everybody makes the joke that NFL really doesn't mean National Football League. It means not for long. And you just never know when it's going to end. And as an athlete, you never know when your career is going to end. You hope you make it professional. You hope you make it to the next level. But you never know. But my story is really not about me, but it's about the people around me. People who put me in position to succeed, starting with my mom and dad, who were both school teachers in a town of 600 people, Chase, Kansas, and coaches and people in my community. I feel like I had the best of both. I had the education, and I had the hard work in a small farming town of 600 people where there were oil field workers and farmers, and everybody worked till the job was done. They didn't work 9 to 5. They did whatever it took to get the job done. And I learned early on that that's what you do. You apply yourself, you work hard, and you work till it's finished, and you do the best that you can. And I had a dream growing up of hopefully playing in college. And in my small town, there had been nobody to go on into college and play. Had a couple guys go to Hutch JUCO, and they quit after a couple weeks. And I thought, gosh, but I have this dream. I have this desire to play. Well, when I was in 7th grade, I hurt my elbow, and I saw a young man out there with a brace on his elbow. Where are you? There it is. Well, yours is going to end up a lot better than mine, but my right arm only straightens this far. Unfortunately, when you live in a town of 600 people, your veterinarian's also your doctor. So you don't know what you're going to get. And after they operated on my elbow, I had no rehab. They just put me in a cast for 3 months. After that 3 months, they cut the cast off and said, you're ready to go. And the doctor said, just one thing. He said, as long as you don't play football, you'll probably be okay. Of course, I didn't listen to that, and I played anyway. But in Chase, we weren't the best team, but we were okay. I wasn't recruited by a lot of people. I had an opportunity to go to Coffeyville Junior College, and then Kansas State came and brought me up for a recruiting weekend. And at that point, they had a coach by the name of Vince Gibson. And Vince was a Southern guy, and at the end of my visit, he said, Paul Kaufman. He said, you're going to be a fine, fine ball player here at Kansas State University. He said, but there's just one thing wrong. He said, I done give away all my scholarships. I said, well, Coach Gibson, maybe I should go to Coffeyville for a couple years. I'll get some size. I'll get some experience. And then I'll come up here. He said, no, 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 no. He said, we'll run off some boys during two-a-days. He said, you get yourself a scholarship in no time. And I was too naive to really understand what it meant that they were going to run off some boys during two-a-days. Well, I got knocked out within the first week I was at practice. I remember getting hit and my chin got split open, and I went to the coach and said, you know, Coach, my chin is bleeding. He said, yeah, it'll need 5 or 6 stitches. We'll get it after practice. And I thought, after practice, I'm going to bleed to death. But every day I knew was my opportunity to get better, to do the thing I love to do. And there were days when I did think about quitting, but I thought, well, if I quit, then I take away the thing that I love to do. I'd told some girls on campus that I was on the football team, but then come game day, I had to sit up by the band. I didn't even get to suit up, so it kind of ruined my story. But I knew come Monday, I got to practice again. I got to do the thing I love to do. I got moved to 3 different positions and finally ended up at tight end. If any of you have followed K-State football, we weren't very good back when I played. You know, this Bill Snyder era is a whole different era that some of you really don't know the history of Kansas State, but every away game we played was the other team's homecoming. We won 1 game my junior year. We won 1 game my senior year. And it was pretty rough, but again, I had the dream of maybe going to the NFL and playing. And luckily for me, my roommate was a guy by the name of Gary Spaney, who was an All-American linebacker. And all the clubs would come and work out Gary. It was before the days of the combine, and so I would work out with him. And about 2 weeks after the draft, the Green Bay Packers called me up, said they wanted me to come up as a free agent and join the team. They offered me $1,000 to sign. That's not $1 million. And a contract of $24,000 my first year and $30,000 my second. So I loaded everything I owned into a 1967 Chevrolet Impala, and I drove to Green Bay. And they had 5 tight ends on the depth chart. They only kept 2. My name was number 5. And every day I didn't know whether I was going home or going to practice. And I actually almost flunked my physical because my elbow wouldn't straighten all the way. But they figured, you know, since I was the 5th tight end on the depth chart, I wouldn't be around long enough to get hurt anyway. So they decided to give me my shot. Well, again, I didn't look at what I didn't have. I looked at what I did have. And again, going back to that education, my parents always said, we don't want to teach kids things, we want to teach them how to learn. So I knew I had the ability to learn. I knew I had the ability to get in the playbook and not make any mental mistakes. You know, I had that hard work background, so I knew I could win the sprints after practice. I knew I could hustle downfield after every pass play or every running play. And again, every day I knew was an opportunity to get better. Now, I wasn't the biggest guy, and I wasn't the fastest guy. I tell people I had deceptive speed. I was slower than what I looked. But I came into camp weighing 217 pounds, which was pretty small for a tight end. During 2-a-days, I lost down to about 212, 210 pounds. So we had to weigh in and out of every practice. So I went in, got a 5-pound weight, stuck it in my jock, put on some XXL large shorts, and I'd weigh in every day with that weight in my jock just so I'd be back to 217. So again, just going back to doing whatever it takes to make the team. Well, finally, the final cuts came, and Coach Bart Starr, you know, basically told me that I had made the team. And again, I didn't want to just be on the team. I wanted to be a contributor. I wanted to be a starter. I wanted to be the best I could be. So that off season, again, I got in the weight room, gained up to 230 pounds, came back, earned the starting position. And then by my 5th year, made my first Pro Bowl. And, you know, the funny thing is just about sports, and the great thing about it, and you guys, hopefully you'll learn this through your athletic careers, is sports is a lot like life. You know, sometimes it's not fair. Sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you get hurt. You have to learn how to work with people that maybe you have nothing in common with. You know, I wish America sometimes would look at sports teams and say, you know what, these guys can get along. They can work for a common goal. why can't we as America come together and work for a common goal? So the great thing about sports is you learn how to work with people that you might not even like, but yet you're working as a team to win that game. You're working as a team to be the best you can be. And that whole teamwork carries on in family, carries on in business, and maybe some of you may be coaches. Some of you may go into professional sports. You don't know, but it's just that team concept that you're learning now that will carry on in everything you do in life. But there's always change in sports. There's change of teammates, there's change of coaches, especially when you get to professional sports. Every year they're drafting a whole new crop of players. You have to get used to different teammates. The coach may get fired. You have to get used to new coaches. I always tell people that when the team calls you in and says, hey, we're going in a different direction, it doesn't mean the team's going anywhere. It means you're going somewhere. And I remember the day that the Green Bay Packers called me in and said they were going in a different direction, but they are still at 1265 Lombardi Avenue in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but I had to go somewhere else. And luckily, I ended up here with the Kansas City Chiefs and played for 2 years and then finished my career with the Minnesota Vikings. But again, just adapting to that change. And there was a great coach up in Green Bay, Vince Lombardi, and some of you may have heard of him, but he had a saying. He said, winning is not a sometime thing, it's an all-the-time thing. He said, winning's a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. So form winning habits, and that doesn't mean you're going to win every game, but you can form winning habits. You don't just win on the field. You win in the classroom, you win in your home, you win in your community. You form those winning habits, and it's doing the little things. I have 4 children, and my 3 boys have read this book called The Slight Edge, and it's just about doing the little things that someday turn into big things, doing the little things right. And those little things that I did as a Green Bay Packer helped me make the team, and it helps you in life. And one thing in Chase, Kansas, I spent a lot of time on a tractor, riding back and forth in a field. And I had a vision, I had a dream. Many of you have dreams, you have visions, you have goals. And the mission is putting legs on your vision. It's like, how do I get from where I am to where I envision myself, where I want to be? And the first thing is hard work. It's the number of hours that you put in. Are you willing to apply yourself and do above and beyond? Everybody goes to practice. Everybody every day lifts weights and does what they should do, but what are you doing on the side? What are you doing extra to make yourself better? It doesn't come easy, and there's no shortcuts. There's all these get-rich-quick schemes. There's all cutting the corners. Well, if you do it this way, if you do it that way, it cheapens it. Things that are most valued to you are the things that cost the most. I believe my sporting career is very valuable to me because of the things it's taught me about life, but I believe it's one of the things that cost me the most. It's one of the things that I put my body into, I put my thought, my time, my energy into, and that is the thing that has value to me. Many people want success without paying the price. I call it the vitamin mentality. On your vitamin bottle, what does it say? Minimum daily requirement. Some people want to just show up and do the minimum daily requirement. I hear people in the workforce every day, well, that's not my job. Well, if you do that, though, it makes your company better. The little things, each and every day, that don't have the vitamin mentality. It's like, I want to do above and beyond. I want to do a little bit more. If they've asked me to run this many sprints, I'm going to stay after and run a few more. It's the little things you do that's going to help you to reach that goal. There's times when you don't feel like it. There were times I didn't feel like going to practice. My body hurt. I just was mentally tired. I was physically tired. Didn't feel like doing it. Well, guess what? There's going to be things in life that you have to do that you don't feel like doing, but it's for the betterment of your family. It's for the betterment of you reaching the goals that you set for yourself. Adversity. Expect opposition. The great thing about sports, you know where your opponent is. Usually right across the net from you. It's the guy that's guarding you on the basketball court. You know, it's the guy that's trying to keep you from hitting the ball out of the infield. You know, there's different things that you face. You know, what you get out in what we call the real world, sometimes you don't know who your opponent is. You don't know what you're battling. You have to be prepared for adversity. You know, my elbow not straightening, I had to find different ways to do things. Me not being as big and fast and strong, I had to find different ways of doing things. And many times that battle is just more perception than it is reality. Sometimes you have to fight your own thoughts. And it's easy when you go through adversity. You have an injury. Maybe you didn't make the team. Maybe things didn't work out like you'd hoped. Maybe your team lost. It's easy to choose the imposter, and there's a lot of imposters out there. You know, there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's pornography. There's things you can get into that may make you feel good for a while, but in the end, it's going to keep you from reaching the goal that you set yourself. When I was playing, there was a lot of steroids, and you know, guys were getting bigger, stronger, and faster, and there was a lot of temptation for me to do that because I was a smaller guy. But I'm just glad today that I didn't do that, because I see the problems that many of the guys are having today that did take steroids. You know, anger can be a detractor. When I was in high school, I averaged 6 fouls a game in basketball, 5 and a technical as I ran off the court. I didn't have a lot of self-control. I was angry. I thought, you know, they were just calling the fouls on me, but it hurt me and it hurt my team, because I would foul out and the other team would be shooting free throws because of my technical. You know, that was something that I had to learn. Anger will make you inefficient. You want to be efficient when you get out there on the track, on the baseball field, on the volleyball court, the basketball court. Whatever your sport is, you want to be efficient. Pride can be something that's detracting. When you start thinking, I've arrived, I've made it. I remember my 4th year in Green Bay, I had started to get some recognition around the league, and I was hoping to make the Pro Bowl, and we were playing against a team, the Houston Oilers. And they had an outside linebacker by the name of Robert Brazil, and Robert was one of these guys that he would talk trash the whole game. He'd talk about your mama, talk about your girlfriend. You'd try to get that focus off of the game and onto that personal battle with him. And on one play, I fired out on Robert. Man, I had my head right in his chest, my fist in his gut. Boom, put Robert on his back, and all of a sudden he jumps up and his fists are clenched, and I'm thinking, if he hits me, then he's going to get the 15-yard penalty. So I kind of braced myself. And all of a sudden Robert steps back and he goes, Kaufman, he said, you're a good ball player. He said, the coaches warned me that you'd be firing out on me. And I thought, man, Robert Brazil thinks I'm pretty good. I must be pretty good. I kind of wanted to go back to the huddle and tell the rest of the guys what Robert said about me. Well, the very next play was a little pass play where I go in motion across the back of the line of scrimmage, and I stop behind one of our big 300-pound tackles. They hike the ball, and I delay for a couple seconds, watch the linebacker split and run a little curl route right over the middle. So I went in motion, and they hiked the ball, and I stayed there 1,001, 1,002, watched the linebacker split, took a little curl route over the middle. What I didn't see was their strong safety, Vernon Perry, had me man-to-man. Well, I caught the ball, and old Vernon came right across my face mask with his forearm. My helmet went off, my feet went up in the air, back of my head hit the ground, and kind of dazed me for a few seconds. And I opened my eyes, and I looked up, and there's old Robert Brazil standing over me, and he goes, you know, Vernon's a good ball player too. So you find out no matter how good you think you are on any given day, there's always somebody just a little bit better. So that pride can be a detractor too. You know, teamwork, leadership. I had some great years in Green Bay, caught a lot of passes, scored a lot of touchdowns, and I never made the Pro Bowl. But when our team made the playoffs, then I got elected to the Pro Bowl. When your team gets recognition, then the individual will get the recognition. I remember as a young man growing up in Chase, I couldn't wait for Saturday morning. I'd go get the Hutchinson newspaper, and I'd look for my statistics. I wanted to see how many yards I rushed for, how many touchdowns I scored. It was all about me. But I learned that when the team succeeds, the individual will get his recognition. It took me a while to learn that, but just know even in life, when your company succeeds, and you'll get the raise. When you guys as a team start making the playoffs and start advancing, you'll get the all-conference selections. You don't have to worry about that. It's the encouragement. There's a proverb that says the power of life and death are in the tongue. You can encourage your teammates or you can discourage them. Coaches, you can encourage your players, you can discourage them, because the power of life and death are in the tongue. Are you going to speak those words of life, or are you going to speak those words of death? I had coaches that did both. I had coaches that would come in every day and said, we're searching the waiver wires to replace you guys. You guys suck. You're no good. You're this, you're that. And it's like, gee, you really want to play for that guy. But then I had other coaches that said, hey, you're my team. We got to work on this together. We got to get better. You can encourage each other, because there's going to be days when, some of your teammates don't feel like it, but you're out there all raring to go. You encourage your teammates. There's going to be days that you don't feel like it, but they're all raring to go. They need to encourage you. So just know that you got that power within you to be a leader on your team. The leader needs to communicate the vision to help take you from where you are to where you want to go. A leader has to communicate that vision the way that people hear it. I heard Marty Schottenheimer, a great coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. He said, sometimes you got to say the same thing 5 different ways. That sometimes you have to write it down on the board. Sometimes you have to orate it, communicate just by telling people. Sometimes you got to go out and walk through it. And lastly, sometimes you have to take one person by the hand and say, put your right foot here, your left foot there, and just demonstrate the way it's done, because everybody doesn't learn the same. So don't assume that just what you're saying or what you're trying to communicate is being understood by the person you're trying to communicate that to. I coached Little League kids, and I couldn't assume that they knew what I was talking about. I was telling a young man one day, I said, now you got to contain, you got to contain. And he looks at me and I'm going, do you know what contain means? He said, no. I said, well, look over here. What do you see? He said, grass. I said, look over here. What do you see? He said, my teammates. I said, now you want that ball carrier to run to the grass and go to the end zone, or do you want him to come back in here where your teammates can tackle him? He goes, oh, is that what that means? So don't assume that the people know what you're talking about. And people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. If you have a relationship with the people on your team, if you're there as an example, if you're there as a friend, they're going to listen to you. And what I'm saying, it's not rocket science. It's not new. You've probably heard this before, but sometimes we need to be reminded. We need that person that will speak those words of life. I have a friend that says you need a person to sing the song of your heart when you've forgotten the tune. And sometimes the hardships of life, or just the hardships of sports or injuries or the pressure you feel in class, sometimes those things can weigh down on you, and you need that person that's going to sing that song of your heart back to you. And my motivation, my talking, it's useless unless there's action behind it. Unless you decide and you say, you know what, I want to study more. I want to learn the ins and outs of my sport better. I want to spend more time with my teammates. I want to be an encourager. But again, you got to put the feet to it. You got to put the action to the words. My words aren't going to make you better. There's another Bible verse that says, do not grow weary of doing good, because in due time you will reap a reward if you do not give up. It's easy to give up. It's easy to quit. It's easy to lay down. But the people who succeed, not only in sports but in life, are those who fight through those hard times. And to understand that there's going to be change in your life. And many times pain causes change, whether it's physical, emotional, financial, spiritual. That pain causes you to change. And change doesn't come from comfort. So many times we want to be comfortable. We want it to be easy. We don't want to hurt. You want to put yourself in position that, I can just take it easy now. Well, change doesn't come from comfort. All progress depends on change. All progress depends on somebody doing it a little different. So sometimes you got to step out of the box. Sometimes you got to take a risk. Maybe it's not your nature to be a vocal leader on your team, but maybe you need to step out of the box and say, if somebody's going to do it, it's got to be me. I'm going to take that risk. I'm going to take that challenge that I'm going to step out of the box. I'm going to be the one to encourage. I say it's like the Nike commercial. You know, you don't have to be the most talented guy. You don't have to be, you know, the best on the team. But like the Nike commercial says, just do it. Just step out. Be the encourager. Be the leader. Be the one that wins the sprints. Be the one that spends a little more time in the weight room. Maybe a little more time in the study hall. Maybe helping out someone in study hall that doesn't quite understand it like you do. You know, be a good teammate. You know, everybody needs a living example of someone that's gone before them and achieved the things that you've done. You know, when I was in Chase High School, there was a young man from Little River, Kansas. His name was Perry Veers, and he went up to Kansas State, and he was on scholarship. And I played against him in high school. And I thought, if he can do it, I can do it. And my senior year at K-State, my roommate and I drove to the Kansas City Chiefs Minnesota Viking preseason game. And I watched a tight end from the Minnesota Vikings named Stu Voigt, who was about 6'2", about 215 pounds. And I thought, if he can do it, I can do it. And I hope, you know, I can be kind of a living example to you of somebody from a town of 600 people with crooked elbows and too small and too slow can make it 11 years in the NFL. You know, you can reach your dreams if you put forth that effort and you put forth that time and that energy and you be an example for other people. So I hope tonight I've encouraged you not only in your dreams as an athlete, but just in your dreams of life. I was blessed to have 4 children, all play Division I sports. My wife, Amy's here. My daughter, Camille, played volleyball at the University of Wyoming. She's going to graduate from the dental hygiene program here at JUCO, 2 weeks? So she'll be a graduate from Johnson County JUCO. But, you know, she got out in the financial world and decided that wasn't for her and went back to school to become a dental hygienist. But, you know, you can achieve your dreams, but it's not going to be easy. And you need help. You need your teammates. You need people around you, people who will sing the song of your heart when you've forgotten the tune. So thank you. Congratulations to all the award winners, and God bless.
Thank you again, Paul. Okay, let's start the awards portion of the program tonight by bringing up Associate Athletic Trainer Ben Edwardson. Ben joined the athletic staff in 2005. He became a certified athletic trainer in 2002 and has worked with athletes at many different levels. Ben.
Hi guys, how's everybody? Look what I found backstage. Give her a hand, she made it. However, she's refusing to talk, although I wanted her to tell a joke, but she refused to, so I'm sorry. It was really funny. Let's talk a little bit about this year real quick. Obviously, we have a new head athletic trainer, Beth. She's done a great job. She's fit in really well. She took the reins of our department and really improved things. Walked into some craziness. A little craziness is what I like to say. It's really kind of a lot, but she walked into it, navigated it well, and will continue to do so, I'm sure. Also, of course, we have Roberta, who's in her 3rd year here. Baseball is trying to wear her out, but she keeps coming back every day, so we appreciate that. Our group this year, our team, was small. We only had 3 students, but they have all done a fantastic job. We have 1 sophomore named Emma, who really helped our freshmen this year at the beginning of the year to get things rolling, and Walter and Lovey, our freshmen, really took off with that and did a lot of good stuff. We had an intern this semester named Megan from Baker, who's also been a terrific asset to us. I will say this year we've seen some of the strangest and weirdest injuries I could ever imagine. Things I never learned about in college and thought, I've heard people talk about them, but I'll never see that. Well, here they are. And every once in a while we'd sit down after practices were over, so midnight, and we'd say, we're never going to see something like that again. There's nothing weirder. And then the next day we'd sit down and say, well, I was wrong. So I don't know how y'all did it, but you did. But it kept us on our toes. And while it's been kind of a interesting year, all right, I didn't know that was playing. We've had a lot of fun. We get along really well. We enjoy talking with each other, talking about how we're going to treat an injury, how we're going to deal with an athlete. Most of you have nicknames you don't know anything about, so that's one way we keep things entertaining between us. But with all that said, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our award winners. This year, our MVP and academic award winner is Walter Beeson. We're all going to watch you. Come on. Take your time. And our Cavalier Award winner is Louis Dill. Louis put on his best attire tonight. This shirt's from middle school, so don't be too upset with him.
Baseball is next. Head coach Kent Shelley is in his 31st season as head coach of the Johnson County Community College baseball program. Over that span, he has coached 42 players who have either been drafted or signed to play professional baseball and have helped nearly 300 student athletes continue their careers at four-year institutions. He's led 2 teams to the JUCO World Series, coached 9 All-Americans, and 157 All-Conference performers. Kent also has been inducted into the Hall of Fame for the American Baseball Coaches Association, the NJCAA Coaches Association, Johnson County Community College, and the Ban Johnson League. Please welcome Kent Shelley.
Thank you, Tyler. Gentlemen, would you please stand to be recognized? 2018 JCC baseball team. Thank you, guys. You're looking fly tonight. These guys have concluded their regular season, posting an overall record of 34-20, which tied us for 3rd place in the Eastern Jayhawk Conference. I am really, really proud of these guys and how they handled adversity all season long regarding injuries and illness. These guys never complained once. They never used it as an excuse. Rather, they embraced the motto, next man up. With the number of different lineups we were forced to go with throughout the season, our greatest challenge was developing consistency in all phases of our game. With that being said, our offense posted a .338 team batting average with 107 doubles, 31 triples, and 72 home runs. Our pitching got better as the season went on, and we're pitching at our best right now heading into postseason play. We currently are at a 5.54 team ERA while holding opponents to a .277 team batting average. Again, I'm just so proud of these young guys on how they battled, how they competed this season, and they've earned the right to host the first round of the Region 6 tournament. We will host Cloud County Community College this Friday at 2:10 p.m. Game 2 will be played Saturday at 1:05 p.m., and Game 3, if needed, will be played at 1:05 on Sunday. The winner of this tournament will proceed to Wichita, Kansas, and Lawrence Dumont to compete for the Region 6 State Championship and the right to earn a trip to Grand Junction, Colorado, and the JUCO World Series. And now for our academic awards. First, The academic award goes to Colton Van Fleck, sophomore pitcher from Liberty, Missouri. Next is the Cavalier Award winner, and this award is selected by the coaching staff. This year's Cavalier Award goes to Brian Sullivan, sophomore outfielder from Olathe, Kansas. Brian has provided our team tremendous leadership in his 2 seasons at JCCC, along with a great bat. He has collected 113 hits with 22 doubles, 2 triples, 9 home runs, and he has scored 92 runs and driven in 89 over his career. This year he's batting .366 with 19 extra base hits and has driven in 50 runs. Brian will continue his academic and athletic careers at Pittsburgh State University, and unfortunately Brian became ill this morning in class and could not be with us this evening. Our final award tonight is our Most Valuable Player Award. This award is selected by the players themselves. This year's MVP goes to Ty Herrenbrook, sophomore third baseman from Overland Park, Kansas. Ty is having a monster season, and his numbers prove he is worthy of earning this award. He is batting .413 with 81 hits, including 15 doubles, 6 triples, 13 home runs, and 67 runs driven in. He ranks among the top 10 nationally in hits and total bases. This year, Ty became the 6th player in team history to top the century mark for career hits, career runs scored, and career RBIs. When his career ends here at JCCC, Ty's name will appear among the all-time leaders for a season and career in 20 separate offensive categories. Ty will continue his academic and athletic careers at New Mexico State University. Congratulations, Ty.
Hey, Kent, hold on a second. On April 12th, Kent achieved a coaching milestone, a major coaching milestone of his career. His Cavaliers defeated Fort Scott 19-2 to give him his 1,000th career win. Congratulations, Kent. Women's basketball is next. Ben Conrad. In his 10 seasons at Johnson County, Ben has enjoyed an unprecedented level of success. He owns a national record, winning 30 or more games in 8 consecutive seasons, 5 national tournament appearances, 2 national title game appearances, a national championship, and 5 conference titles. His teams have been ranked in the top 10 nearly 90% of his tenure, and he has held the #1 ranking 45 times. Ben is a 6-time recipient of the Kansas Jayhawk Conference Coach of the Year. He has been named the Region 6 District B Coach of the Year 5 times. He was also named the U.S. Marine Corps WBCA Community College Coach of the Year in 2016, and the Spalding NJCA Women's Division II National Coach of the Year, and the NJCAA Division II National Coach of the Tournament in 2015. Ben Conrad.
I'm gonna lower this just a little bit. Tyler, thanks for not having a comment about the height of the speaker. Appreciate that. Real quickly, just before I even start anything, I think I need to thank, there's a bunch of people I think that we can't run this program, any of these programs, without. Our academic counselors, and we have unbelievable counselor, Melanie Roberts, who I don't believe is here tonight, but she just does a tremendous job with getting our kids organized and where they need to be academically with their schedules. The game day people, the people that do work behind the scenes to put on our games, Jim Dice, all his whole crew, the score table people, They do a tremendous job. Our front office staff that does all the little things that no one sees, they were mentioned earlier, but they just do a tremendous job of keeping us organized. There's others. Our training staff, Beth, Roberta, Ben, I've always said we've got the best training staff anywhere that I've been, and that's definitely still true, Beth. With the addition of Beth, she just does a tremendous job for us. There's a lot of people involved with this. Tyler does a great job with our sports information. So running a basketball program is more than just coaching and playing and recruiting. You got all these different things that come into it. And so just want to thank all those people. Also want to recognize my coaching staff. They've got a lot of things going on, different jobs and whatnot. So a lot of times they don't come to this. I know Josh is here. So we've got a great staff, people that have been with me for a long time that really contribute to the success of the program. As far as our season, I'm going to wrap this up really quick because I know I'm getting close to my 3 minutes. As far as our season, the further you get from the year, the more perspective you have on the kind of season you have. And as I've gotten further away from the season, looking back, just realizing it was just a tremendous year. Our kids went 25-8. 7 of our 8 losses were to national ranked opponents. 3 of our losses were on buzzer beaters. And so we're talking about just a razor-thin margin between what we did and what maybe we potentially could have done. But very, very proud of our team for the season they had. It really was a good year. We had 5 wins over nationally ranked opponents. One of our best wins was a road win against the number 8 team in the country in an elimination game at Labette to get to Wichita. So just a tremendous year for our kids. I'd like them to stand up right now. Go ahead and get recognized, guys. Please stand up. That's women's basketball, 2017-18. Very, very proud of them. Quickly, our awards, our Cavalier Award goes to a young lady who, she's the same person every single day of the year in terms of how she approaches her work, how she goes about her business. And I think that, to me, is the measure of success, is that consistency, kind of just the same person all the way through. This person also was an all-conference performer and is the all-time leading three-point shooter in the program history, Kylie Williams. Our next award is the Academic Award, and this is another kid that probably could have got the Cavalier Award. Just consistent, great effort, great attitude, also a heck of a student, Ida Peschel. Okay, and our final award goes to a young lady that, I'll be honest, I don't think anybody has ever been asked to do more for our team in all the years that I've been doing this. This young lady had to guard the best player on the other team. Not only guard him, but guard him right, which can be kind of challenging with coach breathing down her neck. Very, very challenging assignments every night defensively. Also led us in scoring, got 16 points a game. No one scored 16 a game for us throughout our run here. I think 15 a game was probably the most anybody scored. This young lady got 16 points a game, probably the most impactful kid, honestly, of anybody we've had here. Our MVP, Tristan McFeeters. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Men's basketball, Mike Jeffers. Mike Jeffers completed his 27th season as the Cavaliers head coach this year, and he led his team on a 14-game win streak, the second longest in school history, an undefeated conference record, and his second conference championship. He is one of the most successful coaches in the Kansas Jayhawk Conference, ranking second all-time with 443 victories. His resume also includes 2 NJCAA championships, 8 Region 6 titles, 1 NABC National Coach of the Year Award, 2 National Coach of the Tournament awards, 2 KABCA Coach of the Year awards, 4 District Coach of the Years, and 1 Jayhawk Conference Coach of the Year selection. Mike Jeffers.
Thanks, Tyler. Over those years, a lot of good players and a lot of good assistant coaches to be able to, have those kind of coaching awards and have the kind of success our programs had. First thing, a couple of thank yous. Randy Stang, our athletic director, very supportive. I want to thank him for all his moral support and staying behind us. Basketball is a long season, 6 months, over almost 40 games, 90 practices. It was a long, grueling year, but our players responded. So I'd like to thank Randy. I'd like our team to go ahead and stand. Go ahead and stand, guys. Get a round of applause here. Okay. It's like church. You show up last, you park in the back and sit in the front. Our assistant coach is Brandon Burgett is here. Just finished his second season. Derek Howard finished his 6th year. He's not here tonight. Our assistant coaches do an unbelievable job with our team on the floor, off the floor, player development. I couldn't do it without those guys. My wife Deb's here. She's been with me every step of the way. I don't think when we got married in 1978 she really understood what she was signing on for. I don't think either one of us did. And 40 years later, here we are. We did. This year, a lot of ups and downs. November was really hard. We started the year 0-6. And at Christmas time, we were sitting there 4-11. Come back second semester, we lose a 2-point game to State Fair and then go on that long winning streak. Go undefeated in conference, #1 seed in the region. I kind of agree with Coach Conrad. The further you kind of get away from the season, the more you appreciate it and what our players were able to do and how they were able to really hang in there in some very adverse situations and really turn it around in the second half of the year. It's kind of like it's not really how you start, it's how you finish. So, baseball, softball, everybody's still right there at the end of your season. Remember that. It's going to be more about how you finished than how you started. We had some great individual, when you go undefeated in the conference, you have some conference awards. We had Xavier Womack, Freshman of the Year, Anthony Lupardis, first team all-conference and conference player of the year. Anthony then was also first team all-region and made third team all-American. The more, and then even Paul Kaufman said it earlier, the more team success you have, then the more individual awards are going to come to your team at the end of the year. Our group of sophomores, three sophomores back, very young team. Marquand Wilson, Matt Balday, and Anthony Lupardis. Those guys averaged almost 22 wins a year over a 2-year career. They went to nationals last year, finished 8th in the nation. We just didn't end this year with the kind of wins that we wanted to at the end of the year. But you learn to appreciate it as we get away from the season. Let's go ahead and do our award winners. We'll do our Cavalier Award winner first. This one was selected by the coaches. Like I said, 6 months, almost 40 games, 80, 90 practices. This young man showed up every day and gave you everything he had. He's probably got one of the highest motors of any player I've ever coached. And he comes in, he works hard, doesn't matter what his role is. He could go from starting one game to not even playing the next game. That next day in practice, he's still giving you his best. Our Cavalier Award winner for 17-18 is Meli McKinney. Our academic award winner and our MVP is the same young man. I've been here 2 years. It's kind of coincidental that, I heard Coach Conrad talk about he had a young lady set the school record for most three-pointers made in a career. So did we. and he was All-American. He was All-Conference. He's been everything, that a team needs over the last 2 years. Sophomore leadership. Our academic award winner and MVP for 2018 is Anthony Lupardis.
Amy Sellers is in her 8th season serving as head coach for the Golden Girls dance team. In her 8th season, she has produced 10 top 10 finishes at NDA Nationals, 12 All-American winners, and 15 All-American nominees. Her teams have also produced 7 first-place team performances at Region 6 championships. Amy has also seen 22 of her dancers move on to perform at 4-year colleges or universities and/or professional and semi-professional teams. Amy Sellers.
I don't know how to do that. Can you hear me? Okay. Ladies, if you could please stand. Thank you. This team has been through an extremely challenging year this year, and this mighty group of 12 has survived it all and somehow become the strongest we've ever been right now, and I couldn't be more proud of them. They've dealt with everything from illnesses and crazy injuries that should have completely changed our fate at Nationals just 2 weeks before we left, and team member after team member after team member quitting on them throughout the year, and somehow when it came time to get down to business, they put in all the work and they made up for everything that we went through. And every performance that we had, every competition, they completely killed it. Region 6 champions, hip-hop, team dance, and our soloist. Clean sweep at Region 6, couldn't be more proud of that one. And then going to Nationals, we're extremely proud to be 5th in the nation for team performance and 3rd for hip-hop. So that itself was a huge accomplishment. So thank you, ladies, for surviving this year and becoming stronger. We're going to get right to our awards. Our first award is our, we're going to do Cavalier first. So Cavalier Award winner is Lindsay Albrechtson. Our academic award winner is Miss Breanne Smith. As Bree makes her way up here, exactly 2 weeks before we left for Daytona, in the middle of practice, Bree tore her ACL, and we went through about 2 days of not knowing if we were going to be completely changing 2 routines for the next 2 weeks, or if she was going to somehow be able to pull it off. And she did. She performed our 2 routines on stage twice, both of them. And yeah, we couldn't be more proud of her. And last but not least is our MVP award winner, and that is Miss Jamira Brock. I also have to give a quick shout out to our assistant coach this year who couldn't be here tonight, Alyssa Boyce, and Beth. We couldn't have done it without you at Nationals, so thank you again for volunteering to come to Daytona Beach with us. But seriously, we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you.
Next on the program is women's soccer. The only coach in team history, Jim Schwab, has been the driving force behind the tremendous success of the women's soccer program. His teams have played for the region championship in 18 of his 19 seasons, raising the trophy 7 times. He has won 4 conference titles, and in 2009 he guided the program to its first NJCA tournament appearance, finishing runner-up. He has led Johnson County to 19 consecutive double-digit win seasons, and his 304 career victories are third most in NJCA history. 6 times in his career he's been selected Region 6 Coach of the Year, and in 2009 he garnered the NJCA District B Coach of the Year award. Jim Schwab.
Thank you, Tyler. First of all, I'd like to thank my wife, Shelley. She's not here tonight. She's at Jack's baseball game, and Jack and Luke and Davis. First of all, I'd like to thank the office staff, all the trainers, and especially my assistant coaches. Melissa Blunt's here. You can stand up, Melissa. Please take a bow. And Carlos Olivas, he's protecting, he's a firefighter in his real job, and he's protecting Kansas City, Missouri. So that's why we live in Kansas, so that's good. So first of all, ladies, please stand up. Ladies, stand up, please. As a coach doing this a long time, it's very hard to give out 3 awards because this team is what it's very special for me to coach this team because it was enjoyable to come to practice, to travel, to compete in games. We ended up 15-5, 11-1 in the conference. We won the championship this year. We finally got over to the hump at Butler. Hopefully we can say Butler who from now on, but we'll see about that next year. We're very excited about the team coming in and the recruits coming in and all the hard work in the off season so far. Our award winners will be academic award winner, sorry Betsy, will be Paige Downing. Paige not only did it in the classroom, she had 22 points this year, first team all-conference player, and had 2 incredible seasons. Thank you, Paige. Our Cavalier Award winner is Chloe Harrington. Chloe Harrington was an outstanding member of our midfield this year, defense last year. She was kind of the glue to keep it all together, and if the coaches ever had a blow up, she kind of took the blunt of it, but she was an outstanding what represents Cavalier soccer. Our MVP, Manuela Gonzalez. And Manuela's families up in the entire 8th row up there, please stand up. The Gonzalez family. Good luck to baseball this Friday, and let's go kick some cloud tail.
A veteran coach of 18 years at Johnson County, Fatai Iode has guided the men's soccer program to 5 Kansas Jayhawk Conference titles, 4 Region 6 titles, and 2 NJCA National Tournament appearances, leading the 2001 squad to a 3rd place finish, and the 2004 team placed 5th. He stands 1st in school history and 2nd in Region 6 soccer history with 210 victories. Honors have also come his way. 4 times he's been selected Conference Coach of the Year, and in 2001 and in 2004 he was named the NSCAA Adidas Central Region Coach of the Year. Coach Fatai.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank everyone for being in attendance tonight. My wife, she's not here tonight. Big thanks to her. Big up. She does a lot of stuff to make sure that I'm here on campus to do all the things that I need to do to make sure I'm focused on working with all our players. Coach Jimmy Perez, I call him my co-coach, not assistant coach, because he's done a lot of work for us, and the success of this program is part of it. Thank you, Coach Perez, for all that you do. Coach Ibrahim is not here tonight. It's another one of our coaches that is working hard and making sure all our players are enjoying what you're doing and also make sure they're having fun. Men's soccer player, please stand up to recognize. In terms of giving out awards, I do not think we have enough awards to give out to all the players because everybody did their part, work hard, team efforts, unbelievable. Guys, thank you for everything that you do. Our sophomores, we could have done it without your leadership. Very appreciative, and I know you all are going somewhere that you're going to call your home and work hard and keep on doing what you do. For award winner, our Cavalier go to one of the twins. I wish I could clone all those guys, these guys here. I wish I can clone them and keep them here, but they've done their part for us. Chance is our academic award winner. He has committed to Columbia College, and I know he's going to go there and do a fantastic job for them. Our academic award winner, another young man that gave it everything, never quit, Preston Moe. Preston has committed to attend Rutgers University. And our MVP, young man that is going to be coming back next year, Sung. And before I leave, I want to say congratulations and good luck to the softball.
So softball's next. Aubrey Bratton Volkins is in her 7th season as head softball coach. Over those 7 seasons, she has won 75% of her games and racked up 245 victories. Along the way, she's captured 1 conference title, 2 region titles, a 3rd-place national finish, and a 5th-place national finish. She's also produced 4 All-Americans, 2 national all-tournament selections, 35 all-region performers, and 27 all-conference selections. In 2014, Aubrey was named the East Jayhawk Conference Coach of the Year. Aubrey Bratton Volkins.
Thank you. I'm going to have my girls go ahead and stand up and be recognized, as well as my assistant coaches, please. I'd also like to thank my wife who's here tonight. It's definitely not easy being the spouse of a coach, and she definitely keeps me grounded, listens to my, stories every night, and helps to make me sleep a little bit better, talk me off the ledge every now and then, so I appreciate her. I also want to thank the support group that we have here at Johnson in the athletic department. The trainers, Ben specifically, he deals a lot with us. The other coaches, obviously all those in the athletic offices, Betsy, Patty, Heidi, Jim, and Randy. Thank you all for everything that you do to make things run as smoothly as they do. This year's team, we've been on quite a roller coaster. We started off our season 0-3 in our annual trip to Fort Worth, Texas. We didn't show a ton of promise that weekend. However, looking back now, I can say that we left that team in Texas, and they have yet to be seen again. That trip was followed by a couple hard weeks of practice, including a big coming to Jesus meeting. And there's still a board that sits in our locker room today that lists the stats from that weekend as a reminder of what can happen when we don't show up. After that, we started conference play on a 9-game win streak, only to drop our first conference game to Highland, who we ultimately tied for second place overall with. We had a few hiccups that put us there, but I believe these girls used every loss and every hiccup as a learning opportunity, and we came out better on the other side. Like I said, we started conference off 9-0, and we have finished strong in the past 2 weeks. We've been on an 8-game winning streak, and we have outscored our opponents just in the last 8 games, 93-13. Let me just say, these girls are athletes. They can run, they can hit, they communicate well, they support each other in a way that any coach would be proud of, and they all deserve to be recognized tonight. Some of our highlights include Hallie Bryn and Kerrigan Dixon, both receiving Pitcher of the Week 2 different times each this season. Kayla Peak was Player of the Week in Week 11, hitting 5 home runs, 4 coming in one day, 3 of those coming in one game. They started walking her. Carrie Murphy coming in 2 separate ball games as a pinch hitter and hitting game-tying doubles. Sammy Bates has gotten a hit in 38 of 40 of our games, most of them multiple hit ball games. Abby Sweet has had a handful of tough situations that she's come into and pitched us out of innings to keep us in ball games. Kelsey Orander hasn't pitched basically all season due to injury, but she's still hit above 400 in the DP position through conference, and randomly came in 1 inning against Cali County and shut down some of the best hitters in the conference. There are a handful of girls that have worked so hard to keep the energy up in our dugout and on the field consistently, and although they may not get the highlights with their stats, without them our team could not survive or be successful as we have been. I could go on with many great things that have already come out of this season, and I have no doubt we will be creating more this weekend in Topeka and beyond at the national tournament. I could not be more proud to do it with this group. With that being said, we'll go to our award winners. First, our academic award winner, Shay Tolbert. Shay has been our starting left fielder for 2 seasons now, and although she's not a woman of many words, she lets her actions speak loudly for her. She has great work ethic, both on the softball field and in the classroom, and has maintained a 4.0 GPA her entire career here. Our Cavalier Award winner is Madison Wagner. I cannot say enough about Maddie. She has caught almost every game for us for the past 2 seasons, and not just been a catcher, but she has been a leader, and she works constantly to better herself, but always puts the team first. As a coach, I know she would do anything and everything I ask of her. She has bought into my philosophy from day one as a freshman and has been my voice in so many ways, being the one to speak up and hold those around her accountable many times before I even could. Congrats, man. Next, our team MVP is Sammy Bates. I don't think I fully understood the jackpot I hit when I recruited Sammy Bates, and it really wasn't until a quarter way through her freshman season when I stopped and looked at the numbers that she was producing and thought, okay, she's currently one of the best hitters in the country, and from that point on, I have felt lucky to be part of her journey, and along the way, she's maintained that national ranking, was Freshman of the Year in the Jayhawk Conference last year, soon went on to be an all-everything, including All-American. She has maintained that success this year, and no doubt has many more awards coming her way as the team continues to move through postseason play. Congrats. Go softball and baseball this weekend.
Next up is volleyball. Through 10 seasons at Johnson County, as Johnson County's volleyball coach, Jennifer I has gained a reputation of producing top-ranked teams in the NJCAA. She has led the Lady Cavaliers to national tournament appearance in 7 of her 10 seasons, with runner-up finishes in 2008 and 2010, and a third-place finish in 2013. Jennifer has also had her teams appear in 84 of 90 NJCAA coaches polls, including 43 times in the top 5 and 3 weeks at number 1. In 2010, Jennifer became just the second JCCC volleyball coach to be selected as the Kansas Jayhawk East Division Coach of the Year. She has mentored 9 All-Americans, 29 All-Region selections, 34 All-East Jayhawk Conference selections, and year in and year out, her teams are a leader in academic proficiency. Jennifer I.
Can the volleyball girls please stand up? I've never been very good about bragging about my players, my team, my coaching staff. Thank you very much to Jody. But this year was really special. There was something special about this group of girls that we recruited. Not only were they strong character, but they were very giving and caring hearts. We had fundraised this year to go to Florida, and right before we left, the hurricane hit, and a lot of the schools that we were playing there were affected by there. And so when we talked to the girls, we weren't sure where we were going to make the trip. When we talked to the girls, the first thing they said to us is, what can we do? How can we help? Can we get together items, things that they need? Can we donate money? And so I reached out to Miami-Dade's coach and a couple of the coaches there and asked, is there anything we can do for them? And we didn't hear anything back, so we get to the tournament, and the first thing the Miami-Dade coach did was come up and hand me a card. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you so much. And we open it up. Of course, it's all in Spanish, so I got to ask Megan, who's taking Spanish, to read it to everybody. And they were so grateful that we thought of them and in their prayers. After that happened, all the girls were just like, we really want to donate money to them, and gathered money, and we handed you a card to them. And at the beginning of the match, we're getting ready to play them, and typically at the beginning of any match of volleyball, the referee blows a whistle, and everyone comes to the center of the net and slap hands. As we get ready to play Miami-Dade, they come to the net, and every single player comes underneath the net and hugs every one of our players. And I thought it was something special because I've never seen that in the 20 years that I've been coaching. I think one of the things that we'll remember most is not that we got swept by them in 3, being that they were national champions of Division I, but you know, these girls had such big hearts. They were the most singing, dancing, rowdiest group that we've had, the most fun, smile on their faces, but when it came down to it, this group always chose to be kind. And that's something that I think was very special and unique about each and every one of them that I was very proud to coach. So we'll go on with our award winners. Our Cavalier winner is Destiny Gurdon. Destiny is the type of person that every coach wants on their team. You want to be able to clone her. She is someone that truly embodies a student athlete. She's a hard worker. She never complains. She represents herself and Johnson County with pride. She's wise and mature beyond her years. You need something done, she's already doing it. She's very aware of things. She's excellent. She was our captain. They very much listened to what she says. She was not extreme in your face, but she had such a composure to her that everybody listened to her. And right now she's currently at Friends University on a volleyball scholarship, looking to pursue to become a doctor. For our academic award winner is Kayla Daly. Kayla is by far the sweetest, kindest person you will ever meet. She always has a smile on her face, always willing to do anything and everything for anyone on the team. She's loyal. She's very focused both in the classroom and on the court. She's an excellent role model to all that we've had here. She's a hard worker, never complains. She'll be attending Mid-America on a volleyball and academic scholarship this coming fall, and they are very lucky to have her. For our MVP, Megan Tauke. While being at Johnson County, Megan has grown so much as a person and a player. As a freshman, she came in as our middle hitter, performed extremely well both during the year and at nationals. And then during the spring season, we decided to transition her to the right side. She put in so much work, and with that, she was such a versatile player for us, and we used her athleticism throughout the year. She was a captain and a leader for us on the court, and whenever we needed a point, she was our go-to player. Megan is currently at William Jewell on a volleyball scholarship that she had been there since January.
Our next sport is track and field. Phil Groves is in his 9th season with the JCCC track and field program and his first serving as head coach. In his 8 years as an assistant, Phil primarily worked with all field events and multi-event athletes, and they produced banner years under his tutelage. JCC throwers have rewritten the record books, won 5 individual national championships, 4 national runner-up finishes, 21 NJCA Coaches All-America performances, 7 Region 6 individual champions, 36 All-Region citations, 21 Conference individual champions, and 61 All-East Jayhawk citations. This recent indoor season, Phil had 4 athletes on the men's side earn all-conference honors and had 1 individual event champion. And on the women's side, they produced 3, they had all-conference recognition in 3 events. Phil Groves.
Thank you, Tyler. Could all the track and cross country athletes please stand, as well as my assistant, Mikhail Rodell. It's a small group, but it's mighty. Thank you. And of course, Catherine Blumker, she's waiting in the wings about to address everyone for the cross country. Obviously couldn't have done it without her. Again, want to give thanks to all the administrative staff as well for making this possible. And then would like to thank all the parents, girlfriends, boyfriends, everyone that's here to support all these young individuals. You all deserve some thanks as well, so thank you. Again, this year it's been a difficult situation. These young people chose to come back, our sophomores, and we had freshmen that came in, essentially running with a black cloud over their head, knowing that this was going to be the last year. So rather than talking about all the all-conference honors and all the numbers and things, I'd like to talk a little bit about that dedication and what that's meant to me. I think seeing these young people struggle, knowing that this is the end, it's one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. And so thank you all. I know this is my first year up here. I'm sorry that it's my last, but thank you all for making it a great one. For women's track and field, our academic award, or excuse me, our Cavalier Award winner, Jesselyn Rivet-Tissot. Jesselyn came to us from France. She's a steeplechaser distance runner. She's going to be continuing her career at Northeast Oklahoma State University. For our academic award winner, Caitlin Hendrickson. Caitlin's a javelin thrower for us. Outstanding young lady studying accounting. And our MVP is a young lady who's quite a bit older than everyone else. She fled her home country because of the Civil War and the upheaval there. So she came to the U.S. basically with the hopes of earning a scholarship, of competing, and getting to push herself one more time. So our MVP of women's track and field is Diane Morales. Now for our men's awards. Our Cavalier Award winner, Sam Hengali. Sam's a young man who started his career somewhere else and decided that it wasn't the right place for him. And he came here and immediately showed us his competitive spirit and his leadership, so we appreciate everything he's done. Going to be continuing his career on at Emporia State University. Our academic award winner is Cole Young. Cole's one of our throwers. Will be continuing his academic career at UMKC. And finally, our men's track and field MVP, Duncan Gakuru. And Duncan will be finishing his career at Evangel University. And again, I just want to say thank you to all the athletes for committing yourselves to running this year. I know it hasn't been easy. My hope is that someone else in the community or in the state will step up to fill that void that we're leaving, because young people that are willing to work this hard, they deserve a place to go on and excel. Thank you.
Okay, our final sport is cross country. Catherine Blonker has served as JCCC's men's cross-country coach the past 4 years, and this season she took over the role as the women's head coach. In her 4 years with the men, the team registered 3 top 10 national finishes, 2 in half marathon and 1 in cross-country. She has also led the team to a pair of runner-up conference finishes. Individually, she has coached 4 NJCA Coaches Association half marathon All-Americans, including 2 this year, and 3 all-conference runners. For the Lady Cavaliers this season, they raced to a top 10 finish at the National Marathon Championships, and she had 1 runner earn all conference honors. Catherine Blomker.
Thank you, Tyler. I'd like the cross-country runners, men and women, all to stand up, please. There they are. Everyone, that's the last cross-country team that will ever run in a Johnson County Cavaliers uniform. And it's a little hard for me, honestly. It's been a big part of my life. They're like family to me. And I think the proudest thing that I can say about this team is that they finished Johnson County cross-country with pride. The way they raced every single week and the way they continue to race every single week, they wear that jersey with pride. They get out there, they run their hearts out. We've been competing since August, so it is May now, and we still have races to go. We have regionals this weekend. I know all athletes here work very, very hard, but distance runners compete from August until end of May. We have cross-country nationals, we have half-marathon nationals, we have indoor, and we have outdoor. And this group that we have, they were small, but they stepped up to the challenge. We didn't have many of them, and they all knew that they all mattered. They all needed to be on the line every day, and they did that for us, and so I'm really, really proud of them. If I could give all of them an award, I would. Unfortunately, we can't. We'll start, though, with the women's awards. The Cavalier Award winner, our only freshman. It was funny, the first road trip, I roomed her with a sophomore because I thought that the sophomore would help her figure out what to do and where to be on time and, you know, all the things that you need to know on a road trip. And it turned out she was the one who was making sure that the sophomore was on time. And so I'd like to bring Emma up here. She just did a great job for us all year. Next, we have our academic and MVP. Ulissa has been now a two-time MVP for our team. She's a great cross-country runner. She's great in this classroom. She's done everything we've asked of her day in and day out. She was all conference and all region this year. Really proud of her, and I wish she was going on to run somewhere, but I can't talk her into it. But congratulations. So we'll move on to the men's cross-country team. Men's cross-country, we had a really successful year. I was really proud of how our guys did. We ended up 5th in the region, 3rd in the conference. We had 2 All-American finishers in the half marathon, 1 All-American at cross-country, an all-conference, and an all-region performer in cross-country. So really, the small group that they had, they worked together, they ran hard, they put in the miles, and they showed up on race day, and I was really proud of how they all did. We'll start with our Cavalier Award winner. He raced deathly ill at National Cross, and if he hadn't, we would not have finished in the top 25 in the nation, and it's Brendan McRoberts. And we also have another double academic MVP. And no, you're not seeing double, but it is Brendan's twin brother, Kyle. He's a multiple-time All-American, a multiple-time track national qualifier. And I think he's going to still do some great things here coming up with outdoor regionals and outdoor nationals coming. So congratulations, Kyle.
All right, let's give another round of applause for all our winners tonight. For the final awards tonight, I would like to welcome back to the stage Mr. Randy Stang to present the awards for Female and Male Overall Academic Winner and Female and Male Most Valuable Player.
All right, the storm is approaching, so we're going to go quick. I need the academic and MVP winners back on the stage, please. If you'll come back on the stage, thank you very much. While they're coming up, I again want to thank Paul Kaufman for coming tonight. Appreciate his message. I've always been a big fan of his, and what a great What a great career he's had. So thank you very much, Paul, again. Okay. Each year, JCCC, come on up. Yep. We'll wait for you to get here. We honor a female and male athlete who have excelled in their academic studies. This year's winners have been able to balance the demand of their sport and classwork, and both are certain to win academic honors from the NJCAA in June. The female academic winner for 2018 is Shay Tolbert of the softball team. Shay. The male academic winner is Colton Van Vleck of the baseball team. Colton. All right. Now for the MVP. 1 second. The female and male athlete of the year awards are presented and voted on annually by the Johnson County Community College coaching staff. This year's winners each posted an amazing season for their respective teams. Each of these winners have also etched their names forever in JCC history among the all-time statistical leaders for their sports. The JCC Female Athlete of the Year is literally tearing the cover off the ball this season. She's batting .553, which ranks her 5th in the nation, and her average is 36 points higher than the second best hitter in the conference. She's collected at least 1 hit in 38 of her 40 games, and earlier this season had a hitting streak that spanned 26 straight games. In addition to her average, she leads the team in hits, runs, doubles, triples, and stolen bases. An All-American selection last year, she'll leave the program ranked among the all-time greatest hitters to come through Johnson County. The 2018 Female Athlete of the Year is Sammy Bates of the softball team. Congratulations. The Male Athlete of the Year. After missing last season with an injury, he returned to the lineup this season and has put together a monster season. And he leads the team in virtually every offensive statistic. He's batting .413 with 81 hits, 15 doubles, 6 triples, 13 home runs, and 67 runs driven in. His 81 hits rank 6th in the country, and his 147 total bases ranks 8th nationally. He's also closing in on setting new records for season hits, season multiple hit games, and career multiple hit games. The 2018 Male Athlete of the Year is Ty Herrenbrook, baseball team. All right. That concludes the athletic awards ceremony tonight. We want to thank you all for coming to celebrate with our student athletes, and we also want to say a big thank you to Nothing Bundt Cakes for sponsoring our event. Don't forget to stop and grab some on your way out, and again, thank you so much for this evening. Well done.